Good afternoon. This is Florida Plant Mama coming to you from Zone 10A, Central Florida. Today, I'm going to be touching the hearts of all those orchid growers out there. Am I an orchid grower? Now I am. Now that I have this vanilla bean plant, I've got a couple of orchids outside that have been neglected out there that I promise to take better care of now that I know that this vanilla bean plant is also an orchid. So this is Nilla. This is the plant that I received for my birthday. Has she gotten any bigger? No, she's probably about the same size as she was when I got her. But here's the thing. I didn't really think anyone was going to purchase this for my birthday, so I'm quite surprised that my family did. So now that they did, I figured I better start learning how to take care of this thing so I don't kill it, because it was a little on the pricey side for a baby plant. Now, the scientific name for this plant is Vanilla plantifolia. Okay, I did take notes, people, okay, because I don't know much about this plant, but I'm learning, and you can learn with me, all right? So, Vanilla plantifolia, it's a tropical orchid plant. I didn't know it was an orchid before I got it. I probably should have looked that up, right? Anywho, it grows in high temps and humidity, perfect for Florida. It grows in zone 10 and zones 11, I guess zone 10 and up is what we should say. It grows in partial or full shade. It does not like direct sunlight according to the package instructions here. It can climb up to 40 feet high. It's an epiphytic plant. What that means is it climbs up host trees without drawing nutrients from its host trees. And at some point, it develops these aerial roots, and the aerial roots are actually what absorb most of the nutrients. After a while, it doesn't even need the soil or this Spanish moss, sphagnum moss anymore. Now, I did go ahead and kind of do a boo-boo before reading up on this plant, before figuring out exactly how to repot it. I kind of just went ahead and did my thing. I don't know why I didn't realize this is an orchid. I don't know why. I have orchids, and I have potting mix for my orchids. But I just went ahead and planted, repotted this or up-potted this in soil. All right. So after doing the research, which I thought to myself, self, you better do some research on this vanilla orchid plant, because you don't really know what you're doing when it comes to this plant. This is the first time you've grown a vanilla orchid plant. So I decided to do some research. Okay, so what I've learned from my research is this is not a beginner-friendly orchid. This is a high-maintenance epiphytic plant. She requires just the right environment, and that environment I have learned is not outside. Florida is tropical, so it would work in the summer months. However, this plant does not like temperatures below the 70s. The dog is down here harassing me as I'm trying to film. Good. Cadence has taken her away. All right, so this plant does not do well in cold environments. It needs the warmth, and while I could plant it outside in the summertime and take it inside during the colder months, I don't necessarily want to do that, because outside also means bugs, and bugs inside the soil will equal bugs inside my house. I don't like bugs inside my house. So this is going to be a strictly in-house plant. And if it flowers, I will have to hand pollinate it in order to actually get a vanilla seed, which can then be used as the vanilla bean that we all know to flavor our foods. So this is going to be a journey. Welcome to the journey. Okay, what else did I write on my little note sheet here? Okay, I think I covered everything. All right, so I went ahead and put this stuff in the wrong medium. Now I kind of got to start all over again. Okay, so what did I do? I did some research and figured out that this vanilla bean plant either can grow in the orchid potting mix and you create a mix here. This one has the perlite and it has the bark. And it also has, what is it? What does it say? It says a special formula, maximum airflow, clears naturally because it's got some charcoal in it, and drains fast because of the perlite. So I do have this mix here, but I also don't like the fact that these chunks are humongous, okay? So, of course, in the normal fashion of me being extra, I did a little bit more research and found out that the sphagnum moss is a very good medium for these orchid plants. In so doing, I went on to my favorite shopping space, which is Amazon, and I purchased some dried sphagnum moss, which I then rehydrated in some warm water. This is what it looks like after it's hydrated. This is what it comes when they send it to you. It looks like this. It's just a flat cardboard looking substance. And you put it in some water and it fluffs right up. So what I plan on doing, get up in this chair a little bit better. What I plan on doing is going ahead and filling maybe the bottom with the larger pieces of the orchid potting mix, and then filling around. I put another pot inside this one because it's a pretty large pot and I want to increase airflow as much as possible. I don't want my roots sitting at the bottom of this pot. I need to get it up high enough so that it drains nicely and there's good airflow. So that's what I did. Now I've got to empty this pot and I don't feel like making a mess everywhere. So let me go ahead and organize myself so I don't make a mess in this kitchen. I guess I can mention that in addition to purchasing the sphagnum moss, I also purchased these orchid pots. There were a few of them in the container. They weren't very expensive at all. And they are designed for maximum airflow. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put this pot down here. And just wait, I've got a pretty good idea for how I'm going to trellis this plant once it starts growing. I'm not going to do it now because it hasn't put on much growth at all. From what I hear, they don't grow very quickly, but they do all right if given the right environment. So let's hope I can do that. Okay, so now I've got to gently take this pot apart because I shouldn't have planted it in soil. Although I used very rich potting soil with a lot of perlite in it. Problem is that this potting soil is still a little bit too moist for this plant. So I'm just going to get it off. Now, it came potted in the sphagnum moss, but I guess I didn't realize exactly what that was. I thought it was just a wetting media, kind of like that gelatinous stuff that they used to ship my apple trees from Isons. So this is how it came. And I just kind of took this root ball and put it in the dirt. And then I thought, maybe I should research a little bit, make sure I did that right, and found out that while it could work, it would also increase the risk of rotted roots, which I don't want on such a new plant. I don't want on an old plant either. I don't want on any plant. I don't want rotted roots. So let me do it the way that is recommended to optimize the growth of this plant. I really want to see it do well. So this is how it's going to be growing. See how it's sitting on top of that thing there? And we'll cover it with some of this sphagnum moss. In there. I could remove the old sphagnum moss more so that I could really see the roots, but I'm just gonna leave it alone before I end up breaking its roots. I've already transplanted this thing once. I don't want to stress it out so much that I stunt its growth at all in there. It's moist, but it's not completely saturated. It'll give me some time before the next watering is due without having this plant sit in soaking water. And squeeze it out a little bit. Dry it out a bit. The bottom of this moss is sitting in the warm water, so that has a lot more liquid in it, so I just squeeze that out a little bit. It's kind of cool how it came in a flat sheet and it just fluffed right on up. That in there. Figure the best place in my house without direct sunlight, but that is a bright room that does get a lot of humidity, especially with all the hot showers that I take, is my bathroom. So that's gonna be this plant's newly delegated home, the bathroom. High humidity, bright room, warm room. And hopefully it will be happy there. It will flower at some point. I imagine that it's going to take more than well over a year, but that's okay. I'm in it for the long haul. Just imagine how proud I'd be if and when this thing does flower. That first vanilla bean, it's going to be a cherished vanilla bean. Gotta make something special with that thing. Okay. So y'all get the point, right? I'm gonna top it with this stuff. It's just visually more appealing than the sphagnum. And there we have it. Nilla has been up-potted. Stay tuned to get a look at how I trellis her. That won't be for a while. She's got to grow a little bit more first. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the next plant. All right, this is an orchid that I purchased from a big box store. This is the Phalaenopsis orchid. It makes these pretty pink flowers when it blooms. Got some remnants here. Oh, look at this, the little clips. I think these came with it. I don't remember putting them on there, so I'm thinking these little clips came with the plant. They're so cute. Okay. So I am going to repot this baby as well because she is ready. I hope I don't break any of these roots in the process. Now this one is going to go back outside. As you can see, she's got some dried stems on her. She's been outside this whole time. Her leaf color has changed a bit, likely due to the stress of being outside. The conditions are probably not the best for her. I've got her in shade for most of the day, but then afternoon sun hits her from the back patio. That's where she is. She's on one of the tables in the back patio. Okay. Tried to do that so I didn't break any roots. Another little pot there that I'll use for something. Yeah, she was ready. Like that. I'm gonna cut off some of this dead material. I'm just gonna cut off. I think I'm gonna cut off. There we go. And it's looking like it's gonna flower soon. You see that? That is so exciting. That will be the first one that I own that has reflowered after the initial. Okay, same plan as the last time. Put this stuff in the bottom. Adds a little bit of weight to the bottom of the pot. My sphagnum moss on top there. It is very saturated at the bottom of this bowl. Squeeze out some of that moisture. These things attach themselves to trees in nature. When they vine up the tree, their moisture, they absorb moisture from the rain and from the humidity in the air. They get kind of in soil roots and then aerial roots, the same as the vanilla bean orchid. But their roots will rot if they sit in that moisture. So I'm gonna gently put this in here. Unwind some of those roots if I can. Go in. Some more sphagnum. Alrighty. Orchid number 2 is potted. I'm good with that. Orchid Up-potting 101. I hope you guys will continue to take this journey with me. See how these orchids do. And I think I'm actually going to get a few more orchids. All right, and now for the cleanup.